Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. This week we've got your drunk classic Dirty Work and our butter on top last breath. Let's go. Welcome back to your favorite Jim Buddy's favorite movie review podcast, Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk.
Yeah.
How do you think the water tastes out of that liquid death, by the way? Out of curiosity.
If you want to murder liquid, you drink. Yeah, honestly, though, I mean, this is one of the better seltzers.
Okay.
Or carbonated waters, whatever.
It's okay, I gotcha. Seltzer water, carbonated water. It's only a matter of time before it's a seltzer water.
I have a disdain for people that judge like, oh, Dasani tastes bad or this tastes bad. It's water. Shut up. So same thing for the bubble water. It's bubble water. Shut up. But this one tastes good, so I'm a hypocrite.
I don't know what just happened. That was a lot of explanation, and then we got to, but I like it. That was a Jordan movie review. Like it was,
Yeah,
I hate it, Pop 2.
But it's good.
he thinks he's the M. Night Shyamalan of this podcast.
All right.
What a twist.
All right, so this week I tried to get all my Oscar reviews in because this is our Oscar show. The Oscars are obviously tonight, stateside. And I did everything I could to watch almost every movie. I couldn't get to the shorts. I couldn't get to the docs this year. There was just too much going on. They were hard to find. Which, can we please, release this information about where we can find these films sooner, so I'm not trying to figure out what's nominated, figure out on Just Watch where I can watch it, and then watch it. Also, where does a complete unknown get off charging $24.99 for a rental?
Make it expensive. That's my Bob Dylan.
But, is that fair to you? What world are we living? It's a rental.
If you've seen the movie, you understand it's pretty fair. It's a good movie.
Shut up.
That's the price of 2 movie tickets.
If you live in Seattle,
If you live here, where I live,
Blockbuster. I'm renting it, Jordan. I'm not going to have a cinematic experience on a giant screen.
Yeah,
I'm renting a movie with my remote.
there's no overhead.
$24.99 is insane.
Insane.
For a rental. So I'm literally on the fence today. I'm going to either rent that and get that knocked out before the Oscar, or I'm going to rent The Apprentice, which is $5.99. So it's one of those two, because Sebastian Stan is up for Best Actor. He did win a Golden Globe, but it is our Oscar show. So we picked only a few categories this year, and we're going to start by going to Josh, and then Jordan, and then myself, and that'll be the order so as not to get confused. So Josh, Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
I don't care.
Yura Borsivov, I can't pronounce his name, for Anora. Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain. Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Or Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice.
Sure, Kieran.
Jordan, who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to echo that and say Kieran. I think Kieran for sure.
Yeah, if you've been paying attention to any award show, Kieran has run away with every single one of these for Best Supporting. So I do believe Kieran is going to win as well.
But
Josh.
I gotta point out though, some movies don't have a supporting. Kieran's not the supporting actor. He's the co-lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
There's no tag team award though. There's no we tag team this lead role great.
He should be nominated for both Best Actor and Best Supporting. But the Academy's dumb.
They're deciding it's not his story. They're deciding it's Jesse's character's story.
Okay.
Now,
I think if they're co-lead, I don't think they really I think if they were both nominated, they would both be supporting actor. Don't you?
Yeah. Anyway.
I think that would be the way that it makes sense, but yeah.
There's the billing. Billing is what matters. Numbers.
Check
the
the
Academy. The Academy. All right, Josh. Best animated film.
Wild Robot.
Flow.
Yes.
Inside Out 2. Memoir of a Snail. Wallace and Gromit. Vengeance Most Foul. Or The Wild Robot.
Wild Robot. Although I gotta see that Wallace and Gromit. I love Wallace and Gromit.
I've heard good things. Yeah,
Me too.
it's definitely Wild Robot. It's definitely not Flo. Ugh.
So would you like to know what the public has picked for this?
What?
Yeah, let's hear what the public has to say.
Not the Academy and not like the actual movie review folks, the folks that do this every single day, or every single week, like us. Not the critics, but this is just the public. The public has Inside Out 2.
Of course they do.
Okay.
I don't
Acceptable.
think so. Wild Robot 2. Flow was better than Inside Out 2, to be fair. Inside Out 2 was just good, and it was just Pixar. So,
Yeah, I remember you reviewed that, and it was just okay.
Dude, Memoirs
Yeah.
of a Snail looks weird. Like a straight up acid trip, buddy. Weird.
yeah, I've seen 3 out of 5 there. So for me, I'm gonna go with what I believe was really, really good. I've actually already picked every single category, but I have Wicked. I'm very heavy on Wicked already because I don't want to see the Brutalist win too many films because the background of that movie and the background of everything that happened. And Emilia Perez was awful, and I'm so mad that it's getting so many noms, and then people are up in arms about this and all over the world, it seems. All right, actress in a supporting role. Here we go. Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, or Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez. Josh?
From penis to vagina. It's Ariana Grande. Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jordan?
she was fantastic in that, but I'm going to say Monica Barbaro playing Joan Baez in A Complete Unknown. She did all her own singing as well. We expect great singing and acting from Ariana Grande. And is that to say like she doesn't deserve the award because we expect it from her?
Yeah.
But just this girl came out of nowhere and she killed it. This is a serious role and excellent.
It's not just a role. It's a very difficult role.
Yeah. No.
So I went with Zoe Saldana. Myself, I think she's going to win. She is also, like Kieran Culkin, swept the circuit for Best Supporting Actress. Now, I will say the public, if we're going to keep on this theme, is choosing Ariana Grande, by the way. Jordan, yours is in dead last, according to the public.
Fine.
Ariana Grande has like 57% of the public vote on that
Like
one.
Josh hates the public, or hates the Academy, I hate the public. So
I also hate the public. I just hate everybody.
Josh is surly today.
except for the public that watches this show, I love you, but all 450 of you maybe.
And anyone that wants to sponsor and help us grow. Anyone that wants to donate money to the cause and help us continue to get bigger and bigger. You can be our Viagra. What? Anyway, actor in a leading role. Adrian Brody.
Robot. Oh.
Adrian Brody. That was, I think that was a female, right? Wild Robot would be Best Actress. Anyway, Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing. Rafe Fiennes for Conclave, or Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice.
I don't know, man. I don't have a dog in this race.
So
Have you seen any of those movies?
Nah.
Some of them are free, Josh. Some of these are actually free for you.
I hope it's Sebastian.
Doesn't move the needle.
Sebastian. Sebastian is Josh's pick.
I'm gonna go with Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Timothée Chalamet. So I picked Adrian Brody. I think Adrian Brody is going to win his second Oscar for his role. He and Timothée Chalamet are split across the award circuit. I'm not saying the person's great. I'm saying that the artist is going to get rewarded for his role in The Brutalist. You have to understand, this starts off as a Holocaust film and then expands into a film throughout time and throughout the evolution of immigrants coming to America post-World War II. Those usually clean up at the Oscars, if I'm not mistaken. So I think Adrian is going to be the one. Adrian and the score. I think the score is great. I don't think I picked the score to win. I'd have to scroll up and see my answers. But the score was very good for The Brutalist. Like, the score, you'll hear my review tonight. Anyway.
That sounds like a
Best
cool
Actress.
band name. Adrian
What's
and
that?
the Score.
All right, Best Actress in a Leading Role. So, because we're almost done. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Nora, Demi Moore for The Substance, or Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here?
Demi's gonna win.
Yeah, I would have to say Demi.
They're gonna make history.
Okay, so here's the deal. I picked Demi, and I'm going to give you... I think Mikey should win. I think Mikey Madison should win. But I think this is going to be like a Lifetime Achievement Award for Demi Moore. I think they're going to give it to her based on body of work, and I think this is going to be one of those situations where, like a Will Smith winning for King Richard, right? Like, that wasn't probably the best performance, but eventually they had to give it to him for the body of work.
Even if she gets on stage and slaps the shit out of somebody, they're going to give it to her.
Yeah, I think that's a situation we're in right now, where that is where they're going to go with this. Public is all in, oddly enough, for Fernanda Torres. It's kind of split, but Fernanda Torres. It's weird. She hasn't won a single. Movie? What's that?
What the hell is I'm Still Here?
It's up for Best Foreign Film this year, so it's also up for Best Picture and Best Foreign Film. Welcome back. Hey there, sir. How are you?
I'm okay.
All right. So finally, Best Picture. We've got Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, or Wicked.
Wicked.
Best Picture, God, I didn't particularly like Wicked, but out of this category here, I'm going to go with Wicked.
All right, so I'm picking Anora. Anora is my pick to win Best Picture of the year. I think Anora is
You're
going
probably
to...
right. You're probably right.
I think the speech that Sean Baker just gave, I think it was at the SAG Awards. It's locking it in. It's locked up. He's gonna win Best Director. This is gonna win Best Picture, and a lot of it is going to be due to that speech. The Brutalist, the director, though he made a good movie, came across as highfalutin and arrogant, which I don't think the public is gonna want to see him get rewarded for that. So I think Sean Baker came across more likable in his speech. So we're going to go with Sean Baker. Now, Jordan, you're the only one that got to see our butter on top this week. You went and saw Last Breath with Simu Lin and Woody Harrelson. What did you think of Last Breath?
I thought this was a cool movie. I didn't really know what to expect here. A little Perfect Storm, little The Abyss. At first... In the first, 10-ish minutes of this movie, they're explaining... There's a lot of exposition that you start off with, because they're explaining, there's this job where there are pipes that run underneath the entire floor of the entire ocean, and people have to go down there and fix them. It's a cool story. And it's a job that you don't think that somebody out there has to do. But... watching this for the first while, it made me really want to go back and watch the Kristen Stewart one, Underwater, I think it's called, with the alien monsters. I was like, please have some kind of alien deep sea creature. I forget what the name of that monster that lives underwater. Anyways,
what, like the Kraken?
Yeah, like the Kraken or like Leviathan or
Cthulhu.
Something like that. Come on. Cthulhu, thank you very much. Cthulhu to come up and start wrecking shit. But there's a really cool shot in there for like a movie that's being underwater and there's not really much like scenery to play with, you know? They do pull off one really cool shot where the guy who's from Peaky Blinders, Finn Cole, he's climbing up this manifold where the pipes and everything, all the machinery is, and he's got a flare, and there's bubbles coming up from the water underneath him, and he's like climbing it, and it just looks super, super awesome. I really like this shot. There's a funny scene at the end when all is said and done. It's a short movie. You're in and out.
Okay.
There's a really funny scene at the end, though, where all is said and done, and he just kind of like hops out of the taxi cab, and he's back home safe, and he goes and hugs his wife, doesn't pay the like cab driver or anything, and he's just like
which
talking
character?
to the main character, Finn Cole.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. He's talking to his wife for like a really long time, like hugging her, kissing her, and I'm just imagining the taxi driver just standing there like, I'd like to be paid now. Can I go?
Sir,
Yeah.
that'll be 35.49.
Yeah. After this movie was over, there was like a silence for like a few minutes, and nobody moved. Nobody got up to leave because it was like, and the lady goes, "That was a great movie. I was not expecting that." And what I'm gonna say, it was great. I would say it was great. It was fine. Woody Harrelson didn't really have much of a part in this movie. He was very low key. And it was mostly Simu Liu and Finn Cole. I give this a popcorn in 1.
Popcorn
like
1.
A high. It's a high popcorn in 1. Yeah.
I was like, stand by for Jordan's off the beaten path rating.
Popcorn in 1 with a little white cheddar powder on top.
Yeah, it's a good
What
popcorn
a
in 1.
twist.
Yeah.
No, so there was no sci-fi factors to this film,
No.
is what you're saying.
No.
And Woody Harrelson is more of the like mentor character in this.
Yeah, very ancillary. Very.
So they
yeah.
basically remade The Guardian with Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher.
Pretty much, yeah. He has like couple scenes where he like does a cry, Woody Harrelson, and it just his cry face is really just.
I can imagine
Woody
it now.
Harrelson cries?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
It's really ugly.
All right. Well, I did not cry during our drunk classic. Okay, I realized it was probably not gonna be ever made a movie like this ever again pretty quick. Like within the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh, can't do this anymore.
It's a good
This is
concept,
not
though.
allowed.
It could be remade differently.
They'd have to change a lot, but yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Well, maybe not. Maybe not in today's political climate. Anyway, Josh, it was your drunk classic. So talk to us about it, because you thought of it on the fly when we were talking about Chris Farley, physical comedy.
Yep.
And you were like, I'm deciding on Dirty Work.
Yeah, Dirty Work. It's one of my faves that I've seen quite a bit. Of the SNL movies, you know what I mean? Lorne Michaels movies, I think it's in the top, in total, I think this is easily top 20. I love this movie. I think it's solid front to back. I mean, it has a stupid premise. It has a stupid execution, but everything is just a vehicle for great jokes. And it's just full of great jokes. All the way front to back. It's just funny. And it has Norm Macdonald's fingerprints all over it. The dry, somewhat dark, really strange punchlines, and I don't know. I love this movie. It's
definitely Norm Macdonald. I agree with you,
Definitely.
Josh. Like, you were uncomfortable, and that's what Norm wants.
Yeah. Right, I mean, there's just it's hard to describe one particular scene because every scene's really good to me, even though every scene's really stupid, like a revenge business. Like that wouldn't work, but okay, sure.
I don't know, it might. I feel like it might.
But no, not if people know where your business is located. They're going to burn your place down. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing is like it's a ridiculous premise, but that's how SNL movies usually work. They're ridiculous premises. In the like, okay, well, if we believe that, then here's the joke, and the whole thing is just really good. Nice to see Artie Lang with his nose. I don't know. The whole thing's funny. I give this a popcorn in 2. One of my favorite parts is Jack. Was it Jack Hanna, the guy who had Deep Thoughts on SNL in the old days? Remember Deep Thoughts? You don't remember that? It's from the old SNL where it was just said, and now Deep Thoughts. And he says something that seems real nice, but it's just a stupid joke. He's the homeless guy.
Playing Dirty Work.
He's-
Right.
The homeless guy who has his little rants, and then he's like, here's your $2. Yeah. Anyway.
Because he used to be like an accountant or something inside there, right?
Yeah.
For Shooter McGavin's character.
Right. Oh, yeah. The second week in a row where he plays the bad guy. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
For us in our movies. Yeah, Billy Madison levels of stupid, but equally good execution. I don't know. This is a good movie. Popcorn in 2.
I don't think it was a good movie.
You don't like this movie?
I regretted what I said. I think I said when you picked this movie, I was like, "Oh, that's a funny movie," and then I was like, "Oh man, this isn't funny." It was funny for
crazy.
11-year-old me.
The whole
when I
time was
11,
funny.
Yeah.
It was hilarious when I was 11 years old. oh my god, another dead hooker, another dead like there are bits, but it's like it reads like a long Saturday Night Live skit. It's just a long skit is all it is.
Okay.
Then like there were funny things. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't think it was a good movie. It was a good skit. It was a good
It didn't
like
age well
Netflix
for
special.
you. Like as far as now that you're an adult, it's like okay, which is a lot of SNL. That's
yeah. Hello,
wasn't a
Real
good
Cops
movie.
made me laugh out loud.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hello,
exactly.
real cops.
Yeah. I don't know how you can say it wasn't a good movie, but I don't know how you can say it wasn't funny. Like, it was funny.
You gotta hear me. There were funny parts, right? But it wasn't a funny movie. Like, the concept's kind of stupid. The movie itself is stupid.
Yeah.
It's just... But if you watch it in terms of it being a long Saturday Night Live skit, like, you just piece it, like, compartmentalize it, there are funny pieces to
piece
it.
by piece, it's very funny. We eat the pig and then we burn. Hello.
That Saigon whore.
Yeah.
Like there are funny. Like if it just ends, like
Men in Black who like to have sex with each other.
there are bits, but you just end it there, and then it's like I think you should leave. Right?
Yeah.
You just end that skit. That skit's over. On to the next skit.
Yeah.
So for me, definitely. I even put this movie is not PC at all, and I think that's why it's probably funny. Like I think that's what gave it its edge. It was funny. The dog, the German Shepherd, getting back at the other guy's dog, like that was funny.
When he's just peeing off the roof and the guy comes up and he's covered in piss. Anyway.
How long were you peeing? It's a skit. It's a Saturday Night Live skit. Jordan, I give it a popcorn. Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, Norm Macdonald's got to be the worst actor.
Oh,
for a
yeah.
movie, but like,
Yeah.
it works. It's super funny. I watched this movie when I was really, really little with my mom. Like, it's just one of those movies where like it makes me think of my mom, but like I didn't get any of the jokes, but I just knew I had this like fondness for this movie when I put it on. And I was like, oh wow, I shouldn't have probably not been watching this. Like, the only thing I remember actually like thinking, like getting that was funny, but I still liked the movie, was Chris Farley with his nose bit off, and 2 was them hiding fish in the house. I thought that was just hilarious.
He took my chainsaw and now he's using it on me.
yeah, that whole bit, and then like trying to destroy that old people apartment complex. Like those are scenes that I just remember being really funny as a kid.
That was so messed up.
Wow.
Oh man, Chris Farley, God, R.I.P. Chris Farley. If I could bring back, 3 actors or actors that are gone too soon, definitely Chris Farley would probably be at the top of that list.
Robin Williams.
Yeah. But just his physical comedy, the bar fight, his whole "in the land of skunks, the man with no nose is king."
Fly! Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, their spoon feeding of jokes to you. It's just like, you didn't need to do like, he bet on, this and that, and then Mr. T, you bet on Mr. T from Rocky, you bet against Rocky. Like, yes, we all got the joke that he bet on Mr. T. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
But, and I like how
that's a funny skit by itself. Just the guy betting on Mr. T and having to explain his logic would be a funny skit.
Well, yeah, and Norm Macdonald's like known for like he spoon feeds way too much, and that's the joke. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. He'll kill his own joke and then just keep going until it becomes funny again.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is more than spoon feeding. I think it's like it's so dry. He'll tell a joke and then stare at you.
Yeah.
Until you start laughing.
He's one of the greats. All right.
And I like how there's just the perfect plot device in this movie with no real explanation to what it is. He records things, and then, that somehow saves the day in the end. But like, there's just like, by the way, when I was little, I started recording things, and it's like, it just has no purpose throughout the rest of the movie. Like, he records things, and sometimes it's kind of funny, like the timing of it, but it's just like, there's no explanation, there's no application of it until the end of the movie where it saves the day. It's just like, all right, it's ass wart cream. Get ass wart cream. Okay, funny. This is a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
It's a popcorn. Yeah.
Okay.
a popcorn movie.
All right.
But it seems like, Josh, it's very deep in your wheelhouse. It's something that's going to get you every time.
It's a comfort. It's good. I mean, it's. I guess it's not like. It's a popcorn 1. I take it back. It's not a popcorn 2. But it's a SNL movie, and most SNL movies, they don't age well, and you know, it's
Pina
just
colada butt rub. That's from the ladies' man.
anyway.
All right, so let's get into what we were watching. I'll lead off. We talked about how I watched the Siren song or whatever, the Witcher Siren song, and we said this is probably going to be IP for Netflix moving forward. And
Yeah.
I just read that even though they said there wasn't going to be another season of The Witcher, there's another season of The Witcher coming out.
Yeah.
But The Witcher appears to be just IP, and it's going to be, like, they're going to have canon from The Witcher forever. It's going to be their main thing, their franchise.
Yep.
So, eventually they will destroy it. And the last Witcher animated movie, I gave a really low rate. I said it was terrible. It was like The Little Mermaid with The Witcher. This one was better. This one, again, very beautiful animation. It is a prequel to Geralt's story. So you get to see him as a kid and where he came from. And it's not heavy-handed. It's very subtle. The action in it's very good. The storyline was okay. It was a lot better than the previous storyline. Not as many annoying things are occurring and not as many songs. So you can really sink into this one a little bit more as an action animated film. I have another one of those coming up a little bit later, but it was enjoyable, it was short, and you get the story of the Witchers, right? And it's not all the way at the beginning, but it's getting close. We're getting really close to the very beginning of the Witchers. So we're going to go ahead and give this one a popcorn 1. It's Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf, if you want to kind of see Geralt as a little kid and where the Witchers start to originate from. This is the film for that. Really quickly, I also watched, into my Oscars prep, Nickel Boys. Nickel Boys is a fictional tale about a real school that existed. It was called the Dozier Academy. In the movie, it's called the Nickel Academy, where they sent... it was basically like juvie in Florida. Okay. And lots of terrible things started coming out now, and... an athlete from Georgia Tech, I believe, decided to produce this film and kind of tell the story of the Dozier Academy in Florida because they dug up a bunch of bodies. And what was the movie about Oakland that you had us watch, Jordan? I can't remember. Yeah. Well, it's got the guy that gets out of jail in it. He plays the lead character.
Blind
Spotting.
Yeah, he plays the lead character in this film after he's all grown up. And that's an interesting aspect, but it does bounce around a lot through time. And it's shot from a point of view perspective, which is kind of hard to get behind.
That's tough.
It's hard. Okay, you gotta follow it, and if you get motion sick, you're gonna get motion sick because it's literally like point of view, like everything they see when they turn their heads, all of that. That's how this is filmed. It's an incredibly sad story, but it tells an important aspect of what it was like even after there was some forms of integration, especially in the South, where in this story he ends up going to this because he got a ride from the wrong guy. He was a very good student in the story. He was going to an academy for special or gifted students, and he's riding his bicycle, or he's walking there, pardon me, and he gets picked up, and the guy that picks him up had stolen the car. So now he has to go to this jail, even though he had nothing to do with it, because of his ethnicity, because of his skin color. My review is there's lots of meaningful dialogue around what change actually consists of. It dives deep into this subject matter and makes you deeply uncomfortable, but it makes you learn. What goes on is not right. Artistically, it's done incredibly well, and the climate that it sets basically drops you down into a world of social issues that you should probably have to face today. While it's decently acted, it's not acted incredibly well. It's not something that's going to make you say, wow, the portrayals in this film were incredible. However, I understand why it was shot the way it was shot. And at the end of the day, it gets the job done. I'm going to give this a popcorn in 1, but a high popcorn in 1. The story was great. The acting was okay. But the message really carried the film home.
Okay.
All right, Josh. Solar.
Hey! I watched on Netflix. They got a show called The Recruit. Season 1 is what I watched. There's a second season out. I'm into that. This is a show that it's about a guy. The first episode is his first day on the job at the CIA. And it's a real CIA type of drama. It's a little bit gritty, though. And you expect a little bit of procedurality, you know, like you get from an FBI show or a Law and Order. But this kind of takes its own wheel and does its own thing. But it's really cool. It's a little more realistic than, let's say, Alias. You know what I mean? But obviously it's a TV show, so it's not this glamorous to work for the CIA. The CIA is a lot of paperwork. But it's a really cool show where it's like, don't tell me that. Oh, why'd you tell me that? Now I have to be involved. And oh my God. And then there's like there's espionage stuff, there's spy stuff, there's secrets, and then the plot goes like really cool places. It gets really tense. The ending is great. Like, big cliffhanger. This is a cool show, dude. It's a pretty cool show. So check it out. The Recruit, season 1. I'll have season 2 probably next week. So it's a popcorn and one show.
Cool.
Popcorn and one. Well, I watched Sing Sing, which is another film on my Oscar journey, trying to wrap up all these films before the Oscars start. And it stars Coleman Domingo. And I think this might have been my favorite film I watched over the weekend. I'm going to really quickly tell you it's a popcorn and 3 for me. And I'll explain why in my review. It's only an hour and 45 minutes, so it's not a super ultra long film, and you're in for the entire movie. Like, you are glued to the screen. It was shot utilizing a lot of real prisoners. So anyway, Sing Sing Penitentiary is what this is based on. It's not a musical. All right, and it's based on a art program that was started by a prison inmate named Divine G, who was innocent. But, and it comes out and it talks to you, it doesn't do like the word blurbs at the end to let you know, the subtitles to let you know what happened or where that story went or where that story came from. It actually says it, and he's able to get out of prison at the end of the day, and it goes over how many appeals he went through, and it's tough, but he also started an arts program or a drama program for the inmates as an escape, and it is a heavy movie. And there are parts of it that are very sad, but the fact that it was shot with real prisoners, and you see they did almost shot for shot what the prisoners did in the plays, because it shows you the plays in the credits with the actual prisoners throwing the plays.
Cool.
And yeah, it's really cool. Coleman Domingo is unreal in his performance. He is gripping. You are hanging on his every word. You believe him when he's talking to you as this character, Divine G. I wish he got more credit. I wish more people saw this movie, basically, just because of his performance. I mean, I didn't know about Coleman Domingo until Fear the Walking Dead, and now I've seen 2 films 2 years in a row with him, and he is a thespian. He is amazing. He is a great actor. He is very good.
Cool.
So the setting does a great job of creating tension. You feel it from the very beginning. You feel like you're there with the prisoners, with the way it is directed and the way it's acted. It's just enough to keep you intrigued with the film. It features many real prisoners and truly gets you to feel Coleman Domingo's performance, which is phenomenal. I want it to be acknowledged here, and I want it to be seen. So I'm going to give it a popcorn and 3 again. I want you to go see this movie. It's worth it. I think it's going to come to Amazon here soon, but it's worth the rent, and its message is strong and important. Understand the undertones. Don't just look at the art program that the character started or the real person started. Listen to the dialogue, and you will feel something, and I think that's the mark of a really good movie. Jordan.
Yeah. I watched a documentary on Netflix called Surviving Black Hawk Down. And, yeah, it's just the documentary expanded version of the movie, you know? So you get stories from the real people involved, from both sides. People, Somalians who were involved in this, victims of indiscriminate fire and you know, bombing, Somalis of, you know, from the American side, the fighters, and they just what their, you know, their whole reason for, you know, what they felt towards Americans, what drove them to turn against them, because we were ultimately there for aid. Yeah. Part of what is it, the world aid group. What is that called?
Who? WHO?
No, that's World Health Organization.
No.
USAID?
USA.
NATO?
Yes. NATO, something like that. The one where, all the world gets together and helps out these countries.
Michael Jackson, We Are the World.
Exactly. There's one Somali guy in there. He's telling his account. You could tell this is just one of those guys that's just full of crap. Like, he happens to be at every single major pivotal moment of this series of events. He's like, oh yeah, I was there and I stopped them from killing this guy.
Steven Seagal type.
Yeah, and I was like, no, you can't kill this American. We're going to take him. But really, I was trying to keep him alive and get him home. But it's like, shut up, dude. He's just so full of crap. There's a really funny, like, I don't know if it was an Easter egg or what happened there. Like, this guy slipped past the directors or whatever. There's all the fighting going on, and there's guys, Somalian guys running through the alleyways, and they're shooting. And all of a sudden, you see one Somali guy in there, and he's got a full tuxedo blazer on and just like shorts, and he's got an AK-47. He's running around, and he's there for like a split second. I'm like, wait, was that guy wearing a suit? Like, it was funny. I don't know how. Like, I'm gonna go back and try to find it and take a picture of it,
okay,
because it's really funny. But ultimately, this is just a sad story from every perspective. The American perspective, they're like, we shouldn't have been here. There's a few bad actors in the American army that are there that are just like, they abuse people, abusing power, letting some power get to their head, and that's what really turns the Somalis against them. Yeah. And then there's guys that are there just like, dude, all my friends got killed here, and I want to keep fighting. And we withdrew all our troops and whatever. It was just a huge cluster F, straight up. There's a civil war still going on in Somalia to this day. Yeah. So it's just like, it's one of those things. It's like any of our involvement over in the Middle East. It's like, why were we there?
Yeah.
Why are we there ultimately? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I give this a popcorn and 2.
Cool.
Yeah, this is good. It's short, 3 episodes, like 40 minutes apiece. Yeah. Go watch it.
Okay, Josh.
Captain America: Brave New World. Forgot to review it last week. This was a cool movie. It was nice. It's just a classic MCU. I understand the bad reviews, but not that much. I have a problem with a bad guy whose power is knowing what's going to happen and then not winning in the end. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, writers don't know how to write smart people because they're not smart. So why are you writing? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? His power is super smart. Okay,
right,
so let's
think some of you are smart. Not all of you are.
No, but you know
smart.
what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Like, if your power is I'm super smart, then you better have something smart for him to say or do. His plane doesn't work, idiot. Anyway, I loved all the action stuff. I hated the sidekick, like little Bucky Barnes wannabe. The fight scenes were very cool. The action scenes were very cool. A lot of cool stuff happened. The Manchurian Candidate stuff was like, okay, called that. Like, as soon as I heard the sound, I'm like, yep, that's what's happening. Anyway, this is a nice lead up to what's coming in the MCU. So I'm excited to see what comes next. I love Anthony Mackie. Red Hulk was one of the coolest looking versions of Hulk that we've seen. Was it necessary? I don't know. It was fun, though.
Adamantium.
This is Adamantium. Yeah, Adamantium's coming, baby. I like how they retcon that and they threw that in the MCU now. That's very exciting. I like how they did a callback to the giant thing in the bottom of the ocean that we haven't mentioned in 5 years.
Since the Eternals.
How is the Eternal? How do they just dead the Eternals? Like, I understand it wasn't very well reviewed. I happen to enjoy it. Like, I thought it was cool.
You can't you can't just dead it though. Yeah.
I've read that some characters from the Eternals will be in and out of the series.
Well, we'll see.
They're not going to do another.
Hopefully, we get Kit Harington because he had a nice little intro, and then they didn't really do anything with him.
Well, yeah, because he's what is he? The Black Knight? Is that what he's gonna play?
Yeah, supposedly, but they might have just blackballed that whole thing. Who knows? You never know with these things. But it's weird that Anthony Mackie in his show, the whole thing, he wins by giving a big speech, which is a good speech. And in this show, this movie, he wins by giving a big speech, which is a good speech, but like, come on, think of something else. That's all. This is a popcorn and one. I liked it.
Yeah, it's a setup movie, but like, think back. The first Avenger, Captain America, wasn't amazing. Like
It was okay.
Yeah, the real solid film. I actually thought the Hulk with Edward Norton was fine. I didn't think it was a bad movie. I think Edward Norton really ruined that franchise that could have taken off, from what I've heard and what I've read.
Yeah.
That was his fault that we never got that again. I'm glad they touch on it. They graze over it in this film as well. But what did you think of the dogfight? I thought the dogfight was great. I thought it was a very underrated dogfight.
Very cool, dude. All that dogfight stuff was very, very cool. They were very creative with Captain America's wings and all the cool stuff he could do. All that stuff was cool.
Yeah, yeah. I thought the emphasis around bad CGI was overplayed. I thought it was overstated. I did not think it was as bad as people wanted you to believe. I think maybe people are just tired of CGI. I saw The Brutalist again on my Oscar campaign, trying to watch all these movies. So The Brutalist is another one that's up for Best Picture, Best Director. I already have Adrian Brody knocking out Timothée Chalamet as Best Actor in Leading Role this year. It's long. It's 3 hours and like 35 minutes. It has an intermission in the rental. It has an intermission in the theater. It's a lot. It needs to be cut at certain points. There's a lot of unnecessary things that are put in this movie that drag it down.
If you have an intermission, you made a bad project. Period.
I think the only movie I ever saw in theaters that had a physical intermission was AI with Haley Joel Osment by Steven Spielberg.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's the only movie I ever saw in theaters with a real intermission, where my mother and I, it says intermission, and we walked out, and it gives you a clock. This gives you that in the rental. The rental has an intermission. So, I mean, I could pause it, guys. Hey, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Just hit pause. So, it has a good story, but the fact that it doesn't cut creates an awkward almost television show like order to the movie, to the point where you skip ahead and they're using almost like the menu did, like chapters to tell this story, and it gives you what year span, what time span this is, which is fine, but you shouldn't have to do that for me to keep up. That, again, like Josh said, it means it wasn't a great movie. My theory is that it's going to get a lot because it starts off in the Holocaust era, and it talks about the story, the struggle for immigrants to adapt to life in the United States post that. There's a lot of subliminal messaging through the dialogue, through the way the scenes are shot, through what it shows America to be. It's very heavy-handed in it. I'm not going to say it's entirely wrong, but I'm going to say, hey, that's your experience. Other people have theirs. All right? Some people don't have that exact same experience.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry you had to live that way. I would presume it was the writers or the director that had to live whatever way they're trying to portray in this movie. But not everybody has that experience. Kind of like Josh. Like, not everybody had his experience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this a popcorn and one. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was too long. I thought it was too heavy-handed. I thought it could have been more subtle, and I thought the director needed to make better choices with where he cut the film. It's going to have some. It has a great score though. Okay. It does have a very awkward sex scene that rivals Dune 2's sex scene. So get yourself prepared for that. Extremely awkward. All right. So popcorn and one for me. Let's go to Josh.
Speaking of SNL shows, I watched another SNL show. This is a movie that I've always had on my radar, just never got around to it. MacGruber with Will Forte and I forgot her name. Shoot, Ryan Philippe, and then the lady. She's like in Skeleton Twins.
Hello, lady.
She was on Barbie. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig. this is really good, dude. Like, it's not PC. It's really, really raunchy sometimes, but it's really well written and very funny and stupid. It's so stupid, just as stupid as the SNL sketch that it's based off, MacGruber. It's a MacGyver type who's not like MacGyver, he's more, and man, the whole thing is so funny, though, front to back. I give this a popcorn and 1. It's not for everybody, but if you want some dumb dude ball dicking ass humor, then you're gonna get it, dude. Like, this is really good.
Get it.
I mean, the best example, like a quick joke, he gathers his team, and he goes around and gets all of his team, Chris Jericho, and it's actually all wrestlers. They're all pro wrestlers, so he gets the Great Khali, and he gets the Big Show. He gets all these wrestlers, and he's like, yeah, let's go, let's get them. They get their guns, they get in the van accidentally blows up. So they're not even in the movie, really. That's a great joke. That's all. Good movie.
That's a great joke. You have to tell people to laugh at this joke. I don't know if it's a great joke. You're like the comedian. You just told a joke, and then you look at the audience and go, tough crowd. I watched Elevation. It's the new Max movie starring Anthony Mackie. This is not what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be... I didn't watch the trailer. I try to stay away from trailers so I can enjoy the movie if I can help it. So I didn't watch the trailer. It gives you the option to watch the trailer. I thought it was going to be a mountain climbing movie, like a Scaling K2 or a Scaling Everest or like a Vertical Limit, something like that. Nope. Post-apocalyptic thriller. And you know it's going to be a post-apocalyptic thriller right at the beginning because you're listening to the news playing so they can give you a little bit of exposition on why everybody has to live above 8,000 feet. And it gets
fart
into
clouds down there. Don't go down there. There's fart clouds.
It gets into it, and there is a lot of suspending disbelief, and then it tries to tie it all up in a tight bow with a speech at the end, and it just doesn't work. This is a popcorn movie. The action's not even that good. It's a lot of running, and you could tell that they're running from tennis balls. You know what I'm saying? When you could just tell, you're like, oh, this is bad acting. I can tell that there's nothing actually there.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like, be dramatic. Okay, here's me extra dramatic. Okay, the tennis ball just stabbed you in the chest. Act like you were stabbed. That's what you're getting throughout a lot of this. The character Nina played, I can't pronounce her last name, Morena, though, from Deadpool's girlfriend. So she has a speech at the end that kind of tells you, oh, this is what these things actually are, and now we know. But in the movie, you figure it out because of the whole suspending disbelief. The reason they hunt humans is they have carbon dioxide sensors, so they can see and feel humans breathing, okay? Because you're obviously exhaling carbon dioxide. So if you run, you're breathing more, so they're going to pick you up more. So you have to, it's like a catch-22. You got to run away from them, but if you run, now you're even more on their radar. So you better be within that, they basically signify 8,000 feet with like stick posts or painted posts. So you better get there. If you don't, you're going to get got by these things. I don't want to give away the movie in case anyone wants to watch it. But in this, the first thing I noticed when they sense carbon dioxide was, there's a hell of a lot of wild horses just running around, not getting eaten. Herds of wild horses, like lots of them. Why are these things not killing all these horses?
Maybe they just kill the people because they deserve it.
Maybe they're horse people. They like horses.
They want to have their own horse ranches one day. But it at the very end, it tells you why this is happening, and I'm like, no, not satisfying enough. Popcorn, and I hate you. All right, Josh, what was next?
I watched on Apple TV Shrinking Season 1. And, hey, this is a good show. This has got a little bit of everything for everybody. This is very funny, very pleasant, very witty and quick and endearing. It's got a little bit of... but not too much, just a little bit. I guess if you're not into, I don't know, it's millennial liberal humor mostly, I guess. But still, whatever. It's good. Harrison Ford's very good in it, and I just expect he's phoning it in most of the time. When I see Harrison Ford, it's like, oh, he's just getting a quick paycheck for his grandkids. You know what I mean? Like with Hulk, Captain America. But with this, not so much. He's proven once again, he's a killer actor whenever he feels like it. And everyone else in it, Siegel is good in it. The kid, his daughter is good in it. Everyone's good. This is a very great show. I can't wait to watch the next season, which is already out, I believe.
Yep. I reviewed it.
Apple TV. This is a popcorn and 2 show.
Oh, Josh, she booped him. She booped.
Yep.
One of my favorite scenes in this whole series is it is really a relationship where Derek pulls up to Jan and he goes, "Hey Jan, how's it going?" And his wife goes, "No, we don't like Jan." And he goes, "Oh, my bad, honey.
Yeah.
Eat a dick, Jan." I love that scene.
Yeah.
That scene makes me laugh so hard every time I see it. It's fantastic.
He's a good character, the husband.
He's fantastic. All right, so I watched Dead Money, the new Emil Hirsch on Hulu. It starts off with an illegal poker game, and it's all downhill from there. Shout out New Found Glory. That really kicks off the events as the poker game gets broken up, and now it's a struggle to find out who has the money, how they get the money, and what's going to happen to the people with the money. It takes you on a lot of twists and turns that are not funny, nor are they good. So it's useless. Every trope is useless. The acting is useless. It is basically like, hey, we want a heist movie without a heist, with card players, probably Texas Hold'em, lots of money on the line, and a girl that gets injured. Go, chat.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we get. Now, Emil does a decent job acting it out. He does a lot of the same character as his character in The Girl Next Door. Like a lot of talking to himself, monologuing, narrating the story of what's going on and why he thinks the way he thinks.
He always does that. His roles, he's always narrating himself, his character, Yeah,
and he does that in this.
So here's the deal. There's 52 cards in a deck, right?
Actually, that's damn close to what goes on right at the beginning. There are scenes that you laugh at. There's just things that they do to get a laugh, like a police officer runs out in a thong and tries to fire in, and he's all coked up because he's a police officer and it's got to be funny. Not a lot of laughs that they go for. You're not going to smile too much. You're going to watch it and go, yeah, that was a movie.
No.
So I'm going to give this one a popcorn. Again, it was a Hulu original. It is called Dead Money, starring Emil Hirsch. It falls short of creating tension. It strives to be great and falls woefully down to becoming a B movie.
Ooh.
Jordan, go ahead.
The only other thing I did was I finished Cobra Kai.
The only other thing I did.
All week, I did nothing else.
Didn't even go to work.
I have not even showered. Cobra Kai, the grand finale, was wonderful. Like I said, it was really good. It really redeemed the direction that the last couple seasons was going. They tied every end up, I think. It's very, very unbelievable. All of it in general. There's no way Zabka is beating up that guy.
People taking Taekwondo seriously in general, yeah.
Yeah. But it was, it's a good story. It makes you feel good at the end, I give this a popcorn and 3. Good job.
Popcorn and 3.
Love it.
Yeah, it's just a good story. The last 5 episodes, 6 episodes, it was 6. They were just really good. They did a really great job to end it. It was struggling, it was limping, but it landed the plane at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's going to be cemented as a great series, as an all-time sort of great, not the upper echelon, but
Yeah.
beloved.
Something you'll show the kids someday, the nieces and nephews.
Yeah. Well, I squeak one in there. With
Squeak.
It Ends With Us. It's the new movie that's got all this buzz because of a lawsuit. Boy, trash. Trash, dude. This is a movie that's Hallmark-esque, right? So it's love story. She owns a flower shop. Her name is Lily Bloom. She owns a flower shop. This is Hallmark written all over it. For real, dude. Like just
It's
that.
a story about how she saves America. Her name, Liberty Bell.
Yeah, right. Like that's all you need to know. But it's a movie with like very pretty people. Everyone's so pretty, and zero chemistry between anybody. Like the whole thing was like very creepy. Even the parts that are supposed to be like lovey-dovey, I'm like, this is not working. Like, who's directing this? Oh, it's the guy in the film. He's bad. The premise.
You can tell all the actors are asking each other or asking themselves, "Why are we here?"
Yeah, like, dude, it's I'd say it's Hallmark-esque, but it does have a twist that a Hallmark movie would never have. So it's got like a slightly above level there, but it doesn't pay off. The end is okay, sure, the end is okay, but I don't care. I don't care about anybody in the show. This is not romantic. It's not deep. There's a lot of sexual assault stuff that's just very uncomfortable. This is not a pleasant film. This is a popcorn piece of trash. I venture to say all this buzz about the lawsuit stuff, perhaps just to get attention so people will watch the movie. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad accusation. Maybe that's not right to say. But boy, oh boy, trash movie.
The Justin Baldoni is the guy. He must be spending a fortune on PR bots because on X, if you go to like the not your feed, but like the just general stuff feed, it's nothing but bashing of Blake Lively. I'm like, why do I get this kind of content?
Yeah.
I don't. Where in my algorithm where have I ever expressed any interest in any of this? But it is just constant, flooded. Our popcorn and beers page. If you go through our like just our feed, it's all just like bashing Blake Lively. It's
weird.
That. Some kind of conspiracy.
She's
going
a big
on
actor.
here.
Everyone knows that. Like, just calm down.
What is happening? You sound like Fry. Anyway, my favorite part of that was in the pre-production meeting. Josh says, "I'm probably not going to say any of this," and then at the end of the review goes, "I've changed my mind. I'm saying everything."
It made me mad. The movie sucks. You can't live in New York, run a flower shop, and have that kind of apartment. It's not happening, dog.
So Friends-esque.
Oh, it was way beyond Friends. Yeah.
They should have sealed that up. My last film was I watched The Lord of the Rings, The War of the
Rohirrim.
Okay, Rohirrim. It's a Josh film. I watched it because I was very interested in it. The trailer did a really good job. Animation was strong, but at the end of the day, for the plot to succeed, they couldn't have too many ancillary bits or ancillary stories. And for me, there was just too many things going on. It was not hard to follow. I don't want to say that, but it was boring. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, and because there's so many different plot lines to pay attention to, and storylines that they want to weave in and out, it was just like, now they're cousins. Here goes her cousin. Okay, he's gonna fight a frog that's a super mutant frog because we're in the Lord of the Rings universe. Oh, there's an ocean that eats a big elephant that's high because we're in the Lord of the Rings universe. It just is. It's a lot. It gets convoluted, and it should have been an hour and a half. It should have been an hour and a half. You went too long. It's animated. 2 hours and 15 minutes of me having to pay attention to nonsense is too much. Make a good movie.
Okay.
Right. I give it a popcorn. Animation beautiful though. It is
Cool.
an anime. It is an anime. I will say that it is full anime. I believe it's Japanese style. I'm probably going to get brutalized
It's
by Josh.
adjacent. Yeah, it's adjacent.
It wasn't the Japanese. It was extracurricular Babylonian.
It's definitely adjacent. Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty. It's a very, very pretty film. But at the end of the day, for me, it was just a popcorn. The animation, the visuals could not save it. Jordan, please save us from going too long by giving us your drunk classic.
My drunk classic is a dramedy.
Ooh.
It is short.
Huh.
It's short, hour 45 minutes. Listen to this cast and tell me if you can guess this movie. Jason Bateman, Tina Fey,
This Is Where I
Jane
Leave You.
Fonda, This Is Where I Leave You. It is This Is Where I Leave You. Yeah.
That was one of my picks for last week that I was
Adam
juggling.
Driver, yep.
Great.
What is
Love
it?
this movie.
The line from it? Yeah, Princess Cut, bitch. With Tina Fey. Yeah.
Great movie.
Love this movie.
Let's
It's
watch
been
it.
a long time since I've seen this, but I definitely watched this. I remember the beginning with Dax Shepard, right?
Yeah.
The beginning of the movie. Yeah,
It's
I
a
remember
beautiful
this.
family, beautiful sibling movie. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to watch Bong Joon-ho's Mickey 17 as our butter on
I'm
top
looking
this
forward
week.
to this.
With Batman.
I am excited about it. It is very long. It's 2 hours and 17 minutes, but
I'm here for it.
it does look good. It's got a lot of great actors: Mark Ruffalo, Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Stephen Yeun. Is Yeun right? Stephen
I think it was
Yeun.
Yun. Or maybe Yun. I don't know.
All right. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about you guys joining us each and every week here on Popcorn and Beers. Thank you. We will see you at the movies. You get the popcorn. We got the beer.